April 1945. Nazi Germany was collapsing. The war that had consumed the world for 6 years was finally coming apart at the seams. What if the rules of war collapsed in a single afternoon? What if everything soldiers were taught to believe simply vanished in a matter of hours? What if the men who liberated hell were pushed so far, so suddenly, that even discipline could no longer hold them back? American soldiers moved forward through ruined villages and shattered roads, believing this was just another advance, just another mission. They didn't realize where they were going. The name on the sign meant nothing to them yet. Dachau, and something stopped them. Something that didn't fire a single shot, but froze them in place. Train sat motionless on the tracks, abandoned, silent, as if it had been left there on purpose. The rail cars were thousands of dead prisoners, not soldiers, not civilians caught in crossfire, but people transported only to die. Were men who had survived Normandy, artillery barrages, and brutal firefights, yet they had never seen anything like this. A soldier later said that, in that moment, something inside him broke, something that could never be repaired. This was only the beginning. Beyond the train tracks stood the gates of Dachau itself. Not a prison, it was a machine, built to erase human beings quietly and efficiently. Sinistrese. Living prisoners stepped forward slowly, starved, skeletal, looking less like survivors, and more like shadows. They didn't know if this was freedom, or just another deception meant to crush what little hope they had left. From towers and pathways were the SS guards, the men who had enforced this place. Just some of the guards surrendered immediately, dropping their weapons and raising their hands. The others tried to run, knowing exactly what they were, responsible for what might happen if they were caught. Officers shouted orders, trying desperately to restore discipline and control the situation. But discipline was already cracking. The sights, the smells, the silence, it was too much. A coal yard inside the camp. History took a turn that would never be fully settled. SS guards stood together, disarmed, no longer a threat. They were no longer fighting. The war, at least for them, was supposed to be over. Something happened. Something no briefing, no rule book, no oath had prepared anyone, not in the heat of battle. But after surrender, a line had been crossed. Officers rushed in, shouting, stopping what they could before it went further. The moment could not be undone. What happened at Dachau would follow everyone involved forever. An investigation followed quietly. Reports were written. Statements were taken. No American soldier was punished. Not because it didn't happen, but because no one knew how to judge it. Generals knew Dachau had changed everything. It was no longer just about victory. This had to be seen. The world could never be allowed to deny what existed behind those wires. Liberation finally came, but for tens of thousands, it came far too late. For some American soldiers, the war never truly ended that day. History doesn't excuse what happened at Dachau, but it refuses to erase its scene. 36. Version original paragraphic. Dachau tested every man who walked through its gates. Sivo doesn't just destroy its victims.